society.
Give me my 1900.
In the Knesset, and then they can be like, oh, look, Arabs have a voice too. They are routinely discriminated against. There are dozens of laws within Israel proper that discriminate against Palestinians living there. They can't unify with family that they marry outside of Israel. If they don't have Slavish loyalty to Israel, they can be kicked out of Jerusalem. They can't celebrate their Palestinian heritage. There are so many rules, and I'm talking about Israeli citizens. There are pogroms against Israeli Palestinians in the Muslim quarters of East Jerusalem. They have to board up their businesses all the time because people come through and try to firebomb them and throw rocks at their windows and chant death to Arabs to them. This is the reality there. It is a ruse, and it's false to say that they have full rights. And then when you look at the apartheid nature of the West Bank, it's completely obvious that it's an apartheid state. I think the solution, that's up to Palestinians, whether they want two-state or one-state, but I think with the atomization of the West Bank and how much settlement
feels like land, realistically, it's up to the Israelis, right? Because, I mean, like, the Palestinians don't really have they don't have the right. So it seems like the Israelis would have to get on board with a two-state. I don't think a one-state, that seems like it won't happen.
So here?
It seems like, especially with the nature of the Israeli government today, which is openly fascistic, it seems very tough.
Would a one-state work, or would it just be chaos?
I think that it would work eventually. I think that, again, like, there has to be international observers and bodies. There has to be like, the whole world has to help make this infrastructurally sound and make it work. And you have to remove the settlements that are illegal. You have to.
Right, but Israel's also going to say, we're a somewhat progressive, westernized country. You also have a lot of people in Gaza that do not overlap with Israel value-wise, right? So how does that work in a one-state solution?
One-state solution, I think that
if you have people in Gaza that go, we're not into women's rights, we're not into gay rights, we're into more of a theocratic type of regime, and people in Israel that are like, we're not into that as much, we're into whatever we're into, how do they all get along and hang out and play soccer?
I mean, how the hell do Americans get along? It's barely hanging on by the seat of our pants.
Yes, but for sure. But we have laws that recognize, we have a system of laws where people can, whatever they want to do. But it's like we're not constantly in like California and Texas, which fight all the time, are not in a constant state of terrorist warfare, right?
Right.
I mean, we shit on each, like people shit on the other one, and they both are kind of
shooting each other all the time.
Yeah, they're kind of, but it's not like it is with it. Like, it's just weird to see I don't know if a one state's going to work, right? It seems, I mean, maybe it would. I don't know. Maybe a lot of the beliefs that Palestinians have are simply because they are under this, they have Hamas leading them. I don't know, right? It's like a lot of the, a lot of the oppressive nature of Muslim countries or Arab is a lot of it was backed by the U.S., right? Iran, for example, is a progressive country before the coup. We all know that, right? We're not stupid. But right now, a lot of those countries are autocracies, right? And people don't have rights and things like that. So when Israel goes, hey, we're this thing, we're one thing, and the people over there don't believe in any of that, how does that all work? It just seems like it wouldn't work per se. I don't see how they're all going to live happily without a lot of violence and chaos.
I don't either at the beginning. I think that we just have to look at what is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I think that Israel is a fascist state right now. I mean, they are going around and arresting and throwing Israelis in jail for just simply saying things on Facebook.
They certainly are. They're certainly in a. It's an incredibly right-wing government. They're on war footing, and they are, doing what we did probably right after 9/11, which is like, anyone that's dissenting. I don't know if we were arresting them, but they were suffering. Persecution socially and financially and all these other ways.
Israel's a rogue state at this point. I mean, even the U.S. wouldn't.
Well, have we tried to rein them in at all?
No.
And H.W. Bush did.
You mean back in the day?
He did. He tried.
And when you
That
said
was like the
things
last-
gotten worse,
Yeah.
yes, they have, because back in the day, it did seem like there was a modicum of possibility for the two states because,
Right.
you know, especially before,
Okay, we got 15
especially
seconds.
like the whole 67 borders. After that, the incremental taking over of the West Bank and the atomization of the West Bank has made it almost impossible for a second state to exist unless those settlements are removed. That's
The
why
settlements
that's so
got to
important.
go.
Yeah.
The settlements have to go.
Yeah, there's 100,000, like
There
nearly
has to be
100,000.
they have to rebuild Gaza. There has to be, I don't think Israel can have a security role in Gaza. That seems crazy. I think Arab countries are going to have to, as well as America, and probably also Israel, have to kick in for a huge rebuilding of Gaza. There has to be.
No way!
I mean, there has to be some type of
Too slow.
understanding that.